The Ultraable devs just did the impossible. They communicated to us. You see, when it comes to balance changes or gameplay mechanic changes, we never know what to expect until the patch itself happens. The biggest example is in Season 8 when they introduced tuning out of nowhere to the game without any sort of prior heads up, right? Today, however, the devs decided to do things a little bit differently and made a post in the official Ultraable Discord server letting us know what to expect in the coming weeks. I wanted to make this video to kind of just talk about what's to come, and also get all your thoughts on some of the things they let us in on. Now then, to kick things off, they say, "Hello Rumblers." I did not know that was the official name for the community, I guess. Season 13, celebrating My Hero Ultra Rumble's 2nd anniversary, is coming to an end soon. Before we wrap up the season, we would like to share a sneak peek at the upcoming maintenance, which will include several adjustments and fixes based on the community feedback. The next maintenance is scheduled for November 4th PST, and additional updates are also planned for Season 14 and beyond. These will include character adjustments, bug fixes, and more. So again, this is something they never really do. You know, them saying we want to share a sneak peek at the upcoming maintenance and other things to come for Season 14. We never get a heads up on stuff like this. Again, usually we don't know what's going on until the actual patch itself drops and they give us patch notes. So this is, you know, again, unprecedented for Ultra Rumble to do. And honestly, the biggest thing that stands out here is where they say, which will include several adjustments and fixes based on the community feedback. It's nice to know they actually, I'm assuming, you know, they actually look at the surveys, they take in what people are saying, and they're making some adjustments based on what was said in these surveys. That actually is really nice to see. They then follow up with About Feedback. Team My Hero Ultra Rumble continuously reviews the feedback we receive through various channels, including the submitted feedback on Discord, the player surveys, and the official support contact form. In addition, we are also monitoring in-game data such as usage rates, win rates for all characters. By analyzing these data alongside the feedback we receive, we carefully consider which aspects of the game are in need of change and future updates. Below, we would like to share a partial preview of the character adjustments currently planned for upcoming updates based on these ongoing reviews. Please note once again that this is only a portion of the patch notes. Full details will be available on the day of the update. So again, a lot of what they're about to say here is going to be kind of a sneak peek, which is just really nice to kind of have a heads up of what to kind of expect. But also, again, it's nice to know that, hey, they are looking at stuff that's submitted to them on Discord, their official support contact, the player surveys. They're looking at this stuff and they're actually, you know, making changes based on the feedback that the community is giving them. That actually is really nice to know. Now then, they give us a little bit of a preview of the patch that's coming next week, and one of the characters they let us in on that they're changing is both the Ochacos, actually, the Rapid Ochaco and Assault Ochaco. Rapid Ochaco is getting nerfed, and the changes they're making: Quirk Skill Beta, Home Run Comet, Plant Adjustment, opponents are knocked back more easily when hit, and also Quirk Skill Gamma, Nebulous Squall, Plant Adjustment, opponents hit by the falling debris are knocked back more easily. They then follow with, since both Beta and Gamma currently have high combo damage, we're planning these adjustments. I think it goes without question that Rapid Ochaco is just really strong right now. She has been for a while. You know, simple B&B from her, just doing Gamma, Alpha, does really good damage doing something very simple, and she has some other really hard-hitting combos as well that it looks like these nerfs are planning to get rid of. So the first nerf for the Beta, opponents are knocked back more easily when hit. I imagine it's to kind of, you know, remove this where you're getting stun locked over and over by an Ochaco, especially if you're like in the air, right? If you're in the air coming down, you're attacking the air, and an Ochaco just starts throwing the Honda at you. Your character's forced to block in the air, and you just kind of have to keep falling down while she's hitting Hondas until you eventually get guard broken and get knocked down once the guard break happens, right? I imagine just the card throw is going to have, like, really increased knockback, so the hard knockdown just comes in a little bit quicker than what it is right now. Because right now, you can just keep doing this over and over again until the opponent gets guard broken, right? If they're guard broken, they get hard knockdown instantly, but with shields, this move just, it's a pain to deal with. And the next change they fill us in on is for the Gamma. They say that the falling debris is going to have more knockback, and I imagine that just means the second part of the Gamma, when you call it down, is going to have more knockback to it, which I'm assuming means that a lot of the combos she has probably won't work anymore. So like doing Gamma, Alpha, Gamma, that might just result right there into a hard knockdown immediately. It's still guard breaking without any tuning, by the way. Again, this character just has some really high damaging, like, combo routes she can take, and I imagine the devs are just trying to remove this so you don't have a situation where you just, you know, 0 to almost death somebody at full HP, right? Now again, they're also planning to adjust Assault Ochaco as well. For 0 Satellites Ochaco, they say Quirk Skill Alpha, Planet Home Run, Plant Adjustment, Decreased Damage Dealt, and Quirk Skill Beta, 0 Satellites, Plant Adjustment, Decreased Reload Speed. Ochaco has been performing strongly overall, so we are planning to make some adjustments accordingly. Now then, in regards to lowering the alpha damage, they specified Planet Home Run, which Planet Home Run, it's down here. It's the one where you hold the alpha to do the swing, which means her projectile alpha Comet Butt is still going to be doing the same damage. Only her held alpha right here will now be doing less damage with this coming patch. I find this change kind of interesting because they did decrease the damage of her tap alpha, I believe, before, right? I'm pretty sure her tap alpha got a damage decrease, and now this patch they're coming for the held alpha now. And then we have her beta, which they say they'll be decreasing the reload speed for this move, which I perfectly understand. This move, it comes back so fast. It comes back faster than some technical characters' moves, right? Like Tech Dobby has some pretty lengthy cooldowns, and then you have Assault Ochaco, who can do her beta, and she gets it back so fast without even having the training mode setting on to get my, you know, moves back quickly. I just get this move back over and over and over again. So this is a change I can definitely understand, and it's going to make catching this character, you know, a little bit easier. Obviously, right now, her beta doesn't have armor or anything like that, so you can just hit her out of the beta, and if you do so, she has no more movement for a short period of time. But now, you know, if you do manage to hit her out of the beta, or if you just chase her down, once you catch up to her, it's going to be a little bit longer before she can go into that beta to try to juke you out again. Next up, we have Mr. Compress, and it says, Quirk Skill A, Production Magic, Plant Adjustment, Decrease Damage Dealt. Plant Adjustment, opponents hit by falling debris are knocked back more easily. In the update at the start of Season 13, we changed the mid-air movement so that the character orientation can now be adjusted while falling after using a skill, making the character easier to control overall. As a result, Mr. Compress has been showing a higher than average win rate. In addition, data indicates that the Quirk Skill Alpha has been dealing more damage than originally intended. This adjustment is aimed at addressing these issues. I'm not gonna lie, you know, Compress, he got nerfed last season to the down power of his alpha, but this might be like the first real nerf he truly is getting. So again, they say they're going to be decreasing the damage dealt. Right now his damage is doing 75 without tuning to his alpha. They're gonna be lowering that a little bit. And then also, opponents hit by falling debris are knocked back more easily. I would like to think that means you just get knocked back out of this, like, alpha stun lock that happens when you have shields a little bit quicker, right? Because as it is right now, that's a guaranteed guard break. That actually, his alpha true combos into itself. It just results into a guaranteed guard break if you don't have shields. So what I'm assuming, you know, again, it's an assumption. I might be completely wrong. I'm assuming they're going to make it to the down power of the alpha, the trigger heart knockdown a little bit quicker before maybe that guaranteed guard break comes in, or possibly like as soon as you get guard broken, maybe that's when the knockback will kind of trigger, so he doesn't just rack on a lot of damage to you out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie, I'm also not really too surprised by what they said here, where they said, we changed the mid-air movement so that the character orientation can now be adjusted while falling, blah, 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 blah. As a result, Mr. Compress has been showing a higher than average win rate. I've been seeing so many people playing this character now, ever since he got, like, this movement change to, like, his gamma, like, you know, you follow with some melees, you start soaring. I've been seeing so many people picking this character up. He's been, like, everywhere, and he's been insane for quite some time. Like, his alpha's been, like, really insane. He, as a character, has been really insane for quite some time, I feel like. And, you know, they go on to say further, in addition, data indicates that the Quirk Skill Alpha has been dealing more damage than originally intended. I feel like his Alpha's been doing the same damage since Season 1, no? His Alpha's always been, what do you mean more damage than originally intended? It took them 13 seasons to realize this, that his Alpha's kind of insane, that his Alpha can stun lock you into a guaranteed guard break and just kind of melt you. Still, though, it's nice to see that they are taking a look at Compress, because I do think that he is just kind of an insane spot right now. And the final character that's being affected by the patch coming next week is none other than Shinso, and they let us in on the changes being made to him as well. Quirk Skill Alpha, Binding Claw, Crushing Strike, Plant Adjustment, Decreased Damage Dealt, Plant Adjustment, Decreased Reload Speed for single shots. Quirk Skill Beta, Binding Claw, Sky Chaos, Plant Adjustment, Decreased Reload Speed for single shots, Plant Adjustment, opponents will be more easily knocked back when hit. As for Compress, we adjusted the aerial behavior at the start of the Season 13 with the intention of making the character easier to use. As a result, Hitoshi Shinso has been showing a higher than average win rate, and this adjustment is intended to address that. I'm not too sure what they mean by that one. I think that was probably a translation error, to be honest with you, but that's what's coming for Shinso as well. The Shinso changes, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really see coming. He's kind of like President Mike to me, where like President Mike released and he didn't get a change for like a long time. Shinso's in the same spot where like he released and they haven't done anything to him for a very long time. But now they are. They're going to be reducing the damage to his alpha, so without tuning, it's almost guard breaking. I imagine with a proper build, you can make just double alpha guard break guaranteed by itself. And they also say they're going to be decreasing the reload speed for single shots. Basically, if you miss a shot or just, you know, attack somebody, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get that extra alpha shot back. And this is when things get a little bit more interesting as well. They're decreasing the reload speed for single shots, so again, it's going to take a little bit longer getting back a beta shot, whether you're using it to attack or trying to use it to run away. It's just going to take a little bit longer getting your betas back, so that's definitely going to hurt this character when it comes to, like, I guess, running away. But where it really gets interesting is where they say opponents will be knocked back more easily when hit. Does this mean he won't be able to combo off of his beta anymore? The opponents will be knocked back more easily when hit. I only take that as, like, hey, they're upping the down power of this move, So are they making it so you can no longer do a beta into an alpha, for example? Is that what they're planning on doing? I'm not fully sure. I think someone did mention to me that you can do like beta into beta maybe with acceleration, something like that. Some like really hard-hitting combo or something with his beta. So maybe they're trying to remove that from being a possibility. But I guess that means if they do increase the down power to the point where you can't combo off of it, you're going to have to just do alpha into beta, and you can no longer do beta into alpha. Again, this is an assumption. I don't know for a fact, you know, if they are increasing the down power or if they are, how much they're doing it by. I'm just going by what I'm kind of reading right here and making kind of an educated guess. It could also just mean, you know, those moments where, like, you do a Shinso beta and you have, like, a teammate with a projectile who starts doing alphas on the opponent as you launch them back. Maybe they'll get knocked back, you know, a little bit quicker as a result, just to make sure people don't get absolutely beamed down. In any case, I know a lot of people don't like this character because, I mean, he's a stun character. Alpha will stun you, special action stuns you, the beta can stun you so that he can go into a combo, the gamma will stun you, will slow you down. He just has a lot of ways of, like, stunning people, so I know a lot of people don't like this character, so I'm sure people will be kind of happy seeing him being adjusted. And then this is when things get really, really good. Adjustments planned for Season 14 and beyond. In the updates planned for Season 14 and beyond, we are planning major character adjustments. The team is currently reviewing how each character will be adjusted, and below is a small preview of what's to come. More details will be shared in the patch notes released on the day of maintenance, so please stay tuned a little longer. And they go on to showcase Nito Monoma. Planned adjustment: damage dealt by copied quirk skills will be decreased. And in My Hero Ultra Rumble, Monoma is designed to use other characters' quirk skills without restriction. However, his copy is proving to be more powerful than his original quirk. To address this, we are planning to make copy quirk skills function at roughly 80% of their original performance as a balanced adjustment to reflect the advantage of being able to use a wide variety of quirk skills. I'm not gonna lie, this is a change that I think is going to be massively impactful for this character. He already got his HP lowered to 250. He already got his special action changed, so it now consumes more of the gauge, and it goes on a longer cooldown, I believe, right? And now they're making it so that his stolen copy quirks will be doing less damage than the original user, which is going to be very noticeable because it's a 20% damage decrease, or at least they say roughly 80%, right? So it's going to be roughly a 20% damage decrease compared to the original quirk sets. He'll still have the ability to, you know, combo a bunch of, you know, quirk sets together, you know, doing rapid Bakugo beta and some strike Bakugo alphas, for example. But, like, again, that damage decrease, I just feel like that's going to be very noticeable. I feel like this character is in a really rough spot, probably for the devs to balance, because, like, the general idea for this character is, like, they added somebody who can do everything, basically. Not only can he do everything, but he can combine everything he wants. You can find a character, try to get their alpha, try to get their beta, try to get their gamma, and then look for a whole different character to create some sort of, like, combo that you can do with these characters' moves, right? And that is just such an amazing strength in of itself, which makes him very hard to balance. They took the route of lowering his HP to maybe make his survivability go down, so you find yourself going down more with this character because of that lower HP. Then they took the route of just decreasing the amount of, like, special action gauge he uses upright, so you go on cooldown a bit more with this move. And now it seems they're taking the route of just making it so that his copy quirks do less damage, so that there's a little bit more of a focus on his actual, like, main quirk set, right, when it comes down to doing some good damage. I know I was seeing some people say that if they're going to do this change, they should revert the change they did before and give him back the 300 HP. So let me know down below your thoughts on, like, this Monoma change right here. Do you think it's going to be, like, super massive? Do you think they should buff him as a result of this change, or I guess revert one of the nerfs they gave him in the past to kind of mitigate, I guess, how impactful this change very well could be, the damage decrease that he's getting? Let me know down below your thoughts. Next up, we have All For One, who's getting a very big buff. Planned adjustment: skills stolen with special action plunder will now scale based on the user's quirk level. Tech All For One mains, it is at long last time to rejoice. Gone are the times of downing somebody, getting their quirk, switching, and being stuck with a level 1 ability when your own levels were much higher, right? Now, it's going to be a little bit like what Monoma is, where it's going to reflect your current All For One levels, not your opponent's levels. So it's a double-edged sword in a way. You know, maybe you down somebody and they were level 9 across the board, but you yourself were only level 9 with just your beta. So now you only have a maxed out, you know, Strike Bakugo beta with your other moves being level 1. So that is kind of like a double-edged sword, but I think more often than not, it's just nice to have full control over your levels, right? It's going to be nice just having full control. You know, you might come across a Rapid Mirio, you take his quirk, and you might just max out AFO's beta first things first, but now that you have Rapid Mirio quirk, you might switch gears and start maxing out your alpha now because you want to get that level 7, level 9 Rapid Mirio alpha, for example. it's going to be nice just having full control over this character's levels when it comes down to his stolen quirks, letting you play this character like a Monoma, but a Monoma with 400 HP. It also just means this character is getting a pretty big power boost because, again, he can effectively become a 400 HP version of any character, minus their special action, and now he'll have full control over that character that he takes levels, right? So if he does manage to down, you know, high value downs, such as like Rapid Mirio, for example, he can start working on maxing out his alpha and beta to make his Rapid Mirio abilities much better, and no longer be penalized for downing, you know, Rapid Mirio, for example, again, who has a level 1 alpha. I think this character definitely thrived a lot during the Season 4, Season 5 era, because I believe that's when he got nerfed his special action, couldn't do the rapid cooldown swap, right? And I do think we might be returning to the age of AFO, to be honest with you. This change, again, I think it's going to be really impactful because it effectively makes him a 400 HP Monoma. The only difference is he just can't rapid quirk swap his cooldowns, right? It also might make Monomas potentially a high value down for AFO more than ever, because you can take him, unless they fix this, I don't know if this is considered a bug to the devs or not, but unless they fix this, you know, you can switch to Monoma quirk set. I can attack Aizawa here with my alpha there, I can attack Mirio here with my beta, and then if I go into the settings real fast to speed this up, we can deactivate this, we can reactivate it. I have Aizawa Alpha, I have Mirio Beta, and again, if they let this remain, that means if you down a Monoma, you can really just become a 400 HP Monoma, minus just the rapid cooldown swapping, because you can just mix mash a bunch of different quirks together, and be upgrading whatever moves you want, first things first. I really do think the era of the Demon Lord, it might be upon us again. It just might be upon us again. And then they let us in on a bug fix coming for next season, Nito Monoma All for One. We will fix an issue where using Izuku Midoriya's One for All, Quirk Skill Gamma, second transmission, allowed the character to stay airborne for an extended period of time. And in the bug fix, there's been a few times in my videos where I kind of come across a Monoma who has like a One for All Deku Gamma, and he's just kind of flying around endlessly with the One for All Deku Gamma. Usually they somehow always have like Compress Alpha too. They'll fly around with One for All Deku Gamma, Compress Alpha, which is kind of raining down an onslaught of attacks. I think they also do it with Tech Dinky Alpha too, just flying around, locking onto people and taking shots at them. They'll be removing that, so that will no longer be a thing next season, so that's really, really good to know. They do let us in on some final things. Looking ahead, the team is discussing several ideas that may be reflected in future updates. Character Ticket. We are currently exploring several possible adjustments, so please stay tuned for future updates. I'm at least glad they you know, touch base and say, hey, we're looking to see what we can do with the character tickets. We know that the community has been wanting more characters probably added to it, so we're looking to what we can do. They might also maybe reduce the amount of character tickets that are used when trying out a new character, maybe reverting it back to how it was in the olden times when it was always just one character ticket used, regardless if the character came out just, you know, that season or if it's an older character. I'm also really hoping that means they start just adding characters to the character tickets again, and also that we finally get Overhaul added, which, speaking of Overhaul, they have like this little blurb just about Overhaul, which is honestly kind of insane. Overhaul costumes. It's almost time for Overhaul's wardrobe change. We understand that there is still only one outfit available for Overhaul at the moment, but we plan to add more in upcoming seasons, so please stay tuned. They acknowledged Overhaul. Oh my, it's a good day to be an Overhaul main. They acknowledged Overhaul's existence, and they say, hey, listen, we got some costumes coming. I imagine, you know, I think every villain at this point, right, has the Cyberpunk skin besides the new Young All for One. I think every villain has a Cyberpunk skin, so I'm willing to bet he's going to be getting a Cyberpunk skin as well. They then talk about the official tournament. We are working on more special events and hope you look forward to what's coming next. And then the patch notes released on the day of the update will also include other character adjustments and other endgame fixes. We're also considering several additional adjustments for the future. We'll make sure to share more with the Rumblers as soon as we can. We appreciate your continued support of My Hero Ultra Rumble, Team MHUR. Again, this was super nice to kind of read through. The bar, it's really low, I'm not gonna lie, the bar is super low, because usually with these devs, they don't give us anything. We get no information ahead of time, so again, it's just nice having this information and knowing, like, okay, this is what's coming in, okay, they're taking in stuff that the community is saying on Discord, at their support network, in the surveys, they're actually listening to what's being told to them. This is really, really good stuff to kind of be made aware of. And a lot of the changes they did give us a heads up on do seem super impactful for a lot of these characters. I imagine we might be seeing a shift, and probably a lot of these characters' pick rates. A lot of people who main these characters might be moving on to, I guess, someone new who's equally as strong as what they once were, right? And then obviously they say again, the future patch notes will also include other character adjustments and in-game fixes, so it's not just these characters being affected by next week's patch, it's not just these characters being affected at the start of Season 14. More characters will be adjusted, so even though One for All Deku wasn't on the list, he might also be getting adjusted, possibly for Season 14's first patch. I'm really hoping this is not a one-time thing, and the devs actually consider doing, like, these dev, I guess, blogs, if you will, a little bit ahead of time, you know, before we get patches, before we get, like, this season, the big patches at the start of the season, whatever. Just kind of giving us a heads up of, like, hey, we're going to be adjusting these characters coming soon, so you can look forward to that. Hey, we're going to be introducing this new gameplay mechanic, for example, so, you know, be excited for that to kind of come. I'm hoping we keep just getting communication from the devs, because communication, it really goes a long way when it comes to games like these. Again, I really do think a lot of the changes they let us in on are going to be super impactful, and I'm excited to try out these characters. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. Let me know yours down below. And I really do hope you enjoyed the video. You know, this video was just me kind of talking about information the entire time, but I hope all the same you could enjoy. And if you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.